For most of history, the 18,000-foot granite peaks of the Himalayas were an absolute barrier. Now, custom-engineered machines are boring through that rock to establish a high-altitude network that operates year-round. This marks the end of the ancient Silk Road as we knew it. For centuries, trade in this region was dictated by the geography of the lowlands, limited to camel trails and mud brick hubs. Satellite imagery now shows those same nomadic passes being paved over with black asphalt, connecting basins that were previously unreachable. These new corridors allow freight to bypass the traditional historic centers entirely. By tunneling through the peaks, they create a logistics chain that maintains its pace even through the heavy winter snows. As these physical shortcuts reach completion, the trade routes that once gave transit nations their regional leverage are being rerouted to high-altitude gaps controlled by a handful of powers. Sustaining this volume of trade requires an extreme level of engineering. Advanced bridge designs now span the deep mountain gorges, allowing heavy rail and cargo to cross terrain that was once impassable. This machine is part of the massive extension of the Lhasa-Shigatse Railway. It's part of a broader push to integrate isolated mountain basins directly into a continental logistics network. At key nodes along these routes, automated logistics hubs are being established. These function as sovereign economic islands, remote, restricted zones that operate outside of conventional international scrutiny. The design of this infrastructure prioritizes speed and stealth, providing a dedicated channel for cargo that bypasses the customs bottlenecks that the traditional borders below. Curious, despite the physical evidence of the asphalt, the actual purpose of these corridors is a subject of intense debate. Intelligence analysts view this infrastructure through three conflicting frames. The Chinese government frames these projects as civilian first. Under the Belt and Road Initiative, they are branded as tools for poverty alleviation and regional connectivity. The Iranian and Persian frame suggests that these mountain roads are a secondary concern. They argue the real competition is the race to control deep-water ports. This involves a direct rivalry between the China-Pakistan port of Gwadar and the India-Iran project at Chabahar. In this frame, the mountain corridors are simply the land links required to secure Afghanistan as a transit prize. In response, India is accelerating its own counter-infrastructure. They are currently building the Zojila Tunnel and new military air bases to close a significant logistical gap along their own borders. Then there is the Western and Israeli frame. These analysts identify the corridors as dual-use infrastructure, civilian projects designed to provide long-term strategic encirclement. Israeli analysts point to a documented playbook where foreign state-owned enterprises manage commercial ports like Haifa and Ashdod, creating the same kind of strategic leverage now being observed in the Himalayas. By combining these physical routes with port access, regional powers are redrawing the flow of continental commerce. These corridors are integrated with a digital layer known as the Smart Silk Road, allowing data to move alongside physical freight at high speeds. This technical report confirms the system's backbone, a 1,200-kilometer Huawei fiber optic cable running through Kathmandu. Intelligence audits showed despite the massive data flow, there are no documented security breaches or unauthorized intrusions. This lack of breaches is linked to the network's origin. It was designed for state-level surveillance by the PLA Strategic Support Force, creating an environment where the cable's owner effectively monitors the entire region. This digital integration means that controlling the physical mountain passes also provides control over the flow of intelligence across the continent. The confirmed data is surrounded by unconfirmed reports, including rumors of a ghost tunnel network and an unauthenticated WikiLeaks document. There are also persistent allegations that host nations signed secret protocols, allowing foreign military access during a regional crisis. Grave, while strategic goals are clear, human and ecological costs are obscured. This file highlights an absence of environmental monitoring in fragile Himalayan glaciers. We also lack demographic data on local communities, whose isolation provides a natural shroud for the scale of construction and displacement. These landscape-altering projects are moving forward without oversight from the UN or the World Trade Organization, operating in a vacuum of international regulation. As the final tunnels reach completion, the traditional maritime shortcuts are losing their exclusive status. By shifting global trade to these unregulated, high-altitude mountain valves, the distribution of the continent's wealth is undergoing a measurable and permanent shift.